Hello and welcome. This is a presentation of HandsOn Tech Chicago. We are a new program that will be offering nonprofits free technology trainings and free consulting services throughout the coming year. To see the calendar of our in-person trainings, please go to our website at www.volunteerinfo.net/HOTC, where you can also find an application to apply for our consulting services. We will be turning our in-person presentations into videos just like this one, which will also be available on our website. Today we are going to be talking about cloud data storage. So, since this is our first training on the subject, we're going to start with an overview of cloud computing in general. This will lead into a general discussion of cloud storage, and then we will explore selected cloud storage solutions. At the end, you will be shown how to set up your very own cloud storage solution. Okay, welcome to the cloud. We've defined cloud computing as the practice of using a network of remote servers hosted on the internet to store, manage, and process data rather than a local server or a personal computer. Basically, this is relying on computers located somewhere else to store or process your data. You can think of it as turning computing into a service rather than a product. So, why embrace the cloud? Who cares? Why does it matter? Well, embracing the cloud offers some great benefits, all of which serve to shift your focus away from IT administration and back towards your core mission. Nonprofits need to get out of the business of keeping the lights on and back to the business of fulfilling our mission. The most often cited reason for moving to the cloud is cost. Cost has been a traditional barrier to this, but recent changes and trends have lowered this cost. Because of computers and the internet, companies are able to scale in ways that they weren't able to before. If a cloud storage company wants to expand, they don't need to build a new building, hire a new division, as well as pay all of the costs associated with that. They just need to buy, in bulk, more hard drives and put them in their servers, and then automatically they can serve more people. Of course, because they're buying in bulk, they can get much better deals than you or I could, which means that per user costs for many of these companies are almost negligible. This often allows these companies to provide their basic services for free. We call this freemium, which just means that the basic service is free and then you pay to upgrade to a premium service, which may have more space in the case of cloud storage, or may offer more features, or whatever it might be. This system also allows you to easily scale. You generally will pay for what you need in cloud computing. So if you need more services, you can generally just upgrade your account, and if you need less, you can often downgrade. Another main benefit of cloud computing is the flexibility. The simplest example of this flexibility is in how you can access your data. Cloud computing generally allows you to access the services from anywhere that has an internet connection. This often includes any device, whether it be mobile, or a tablet, or just a computer. This means that you can do your work just as well from the office, from home, or lying on a beach in Mexico. Another example of the flexibility cloud computing affords is the cost flexibility. Whereas traditional technology solutions typically require an upfront cost in full, cloud computing usually operates on a continuing payment model. An example of why this is helpful can be seen from comparing cloud storage to a traditional server. Traditionally, if you buy the server, you've spent all of the cost up front, and then if you find that you don't need it, you're out of luck because you've already paid the money. In a cloud storage solution, if you find that you don't need it, you can always just cancel your account. If you find that you need more space in your server, you can upgrade it, usually. But if you find you don't need as much space, you're out of luck. Whereas with a cloud solution, if you need more space, you can generally upgrade your account, and if you need less space, you can generally downgrade your account. And of course, every piece of hardware will eventually need to be replaced, whether it fails or whether it just needs to be upgraded, that's another unpredictable upfront cost. Whereas with cloud computing, all of the upgrades and replacements are taken care of behind the scenes by the company, and you don't need to worry about anything. So security is generally one of the bigger concerns for people considering switching to cloud computing. And while cloud computing adds another layer of security risk to your system, it's generally as secure as your current setup. The biggest security problem most people have is having weak passwords, and cloud computing is no different. If you have a weak password, your security is low. If you have a strong password, it's generally high. Companies such as Microsoft and Google can afford to hire the very, very best technology security experts in the world, which you or I do not have the resources to hire. So in general, cloud computing is typically as secure as your current setup. It's also worth talking about data security. Because your data resides on the company's servers, and because most cloud companies save your files across different hard drives and different data centers in different locations, your data is pretty much safe no matter what happens. This is in stark contrast to keeping all of your files on your hard drive, only for your hard drive to eventually fail and you lose all of your data. Well, that's cloud computing in general. Now we're going to move on to cloud storage. So, cloud storage is a pretty basic concept. You put your stuff on someone else's server. And there are a number of benefits to doing this. The biggest benefit is, of course, being able to access your files from anywhere. A major benefit is being able to access your files and folders from different computers or usually anywhere that has an internet connection. You can also typically very easily share files and folders with others. There are built-in backups, generally strong security, and there are generally free versions if you don't need the premium services. Also, it's worth noting that cloud computing generally won't replace your traditional solutions, and cloud storage is no different. It's unlikely that cloud storage is going to replace your hard drive, for instance, and it probably won't even replace your network storage. This means that there won't be any huge transition costs, there won't be a learning curve, it's just one more tool that you will have to be more efficient and effective. Of course, there are some things to keep in mind when exploring cloud storage solutions. You do need to be prepared to pay once you outgrow the free versions, although the cost is generally cheaper or comparable to traditional storage solutions. Once you choose a cloud storage provider, you are limited to whichever features that company decides to provide. However, most companies add new features often and often allow third-party applications which can almost infinitely extend your experience. We talked a good bit about security earlier, so I'll just mention it again. That security is only as strong as your password. So if you need weak passwords, keep in mind that your security will be low. However, you can always just use a stronger password. You also must trust the company. It is in the company's best interest to keep their customers happy and feeling safe. There's generally a service level agreement that you can look through and make sure that it fits your needs. So there are a number of different types of cloud storage solutions. We are going to go over 4. The first one is cloud backup. Cloud backup copies your files onto a remote server from where you can then restore your files should something happen to them on your computer. It is not intended to be additional storage, as anything that you delete from your hard drive will also be deleted in the cloud. You also generally can't access the files easily because it's meant for system recovery and not to access it from multiple computers. With all that being said, backups are very important. So if you currently do not have some sort of a backup system in place, it is worth taking a look at these solutions. The second type of cloud storage solution that we're going to look at, is remote storage. Remote storage simply places your files onto a remote server that you can then access from anywhere that has an internet connection. Recently, many companies have set up remote storage for music so that you can access your music collection from anywhere. This type of cloud storage, however, is limited by your internet access. If you don't have access to the internet, you won't be able to access your files. The third type is synchronization. These solutions allow you to synchronize your data between different computers. It does not, however, sync that data to the cloud. Because there is no server involved, the only limit to the amount of data that you can transfer is the size of the hard drives on your computers. However, because there is no cloud server involved, you won't be able to access your files anywhere other than the computers where they're saved on. So, while this might not technically be a cloud storage solution, it is important to understand the fourth type, which is a hybrid system. We are going to be taking a look at two hybrid solutions in just a little bit. Hybrid systems combine the benefits of both remote storage and syncing. You can keep your files synchronized between computers as well as the cloud, which means that even if you don't have an internet connection, your files are still on your computer. In addition to this, you can also access all of your data on the internet from anywhere that has an internet connection. Okay, so the first service we're going to take a look at is Dropbox. We've selected Dropbox because it is super easy to use. It's easy to set up and then really straightforward to use once you do. It's so easy, in fact, that my grandmother uses Dropbox. Dropbox is probably the most popular of the cloud storage services, and they have around 25 million users. You are a little bit limited in what you can sync, in that you can only sync what is in your Dropbox folder. You receive 2 gigabytes of free storage to start out with, and there are paid plans up to 100 gigabytes. Dropbox is also accessible from almost any platform, whether it be a PC, Mac, Linux, or a mobile phone, such as an iPhone or an Android or a BlackBerry, and you can also access it from any device that has an internet connection. Here are some of the features of Dropbox. You have one folder that's the same on all of your computers. So if you put a file into the folder on one computer, it will magically appear on all of your other computers running Dropbox, as well as your Dropbox account online. You can easily share files and folders with others, whether it's sharing files through a public link or sharing folders with other Dropbox users for collaborative use. You can create photo galleries so that anyone can see a gallery view of the pictures that you've put in there. As I mentioned briefly before, Dropbox has apps for almost any mobile operating system, and again, you can use the web to access all of your files on Dropbox's website. Dropbox also has many third-party applications which could provide almost infinite extensibility. The second solution that we've chosen is Windows SkyDrive. This actually uses two different Microsoft products, SkyDrive, which is really just an online storage space, and Live Mesh. Live Mesh, which used to be named Live Sync, is a synchronization solution, which means that it can sync files and folders of any size to any computer. SkyDrive has 5 gigabytes of free online storage, and Live Mesh can sync any amount of data between computers and 5 gigabytes up to your SkyDrive. Windows SkyDrive works a lot like Windows Explorer, so for those of you used to editing the permissions on folders and things like that, this might be pretty familiar. So some of the features of SkyDrive include being able to sync multiple folders in different locations to different computers. In other words, you pick which files and folders you sync to which computers. You can also select which of the files and folders are synced to SkyDrive, which will allow you to access them from any computer that has an internet browser. SkyDrive also allows you to share files and folders via a URL link and create public links to any stored files. Well, this concludes our overview of cloud computing, cloud storage, as well as a brief overview of Dropbox and Windows SkyDrive. For more information on how to set up and use Dropbox and SkyDrive, check out our other videos, which you can find on our website at www.volunteerinfo.net/HOTC. Well, I hope that this presentation has been helpful and that you'll check out all of our other videos. Thanks for listening.